The Teach Act tries to explain what fair use is. Now, everybody thinks they know what fair use is, and they really don't, because what I've been doing a lot of is giving lectures to educators about fair use and copyright in the classroom. And they think automatically, oh, it's fair use because I'm an educator. That isn't really the case. Remember, we've got a balancing act with the Section 106 exclusive rights. Section 107 is the other half of the balance. Section 107 says there are exceptions to the 106 rights. And one of the exceptions is fair use. Now, I want to be very clear about this. Fair use is not a right. Fair use is an excuse once you've been sued for copyright infringement. So you get served and you've been sued for copyright infringement. By the way, you could be on the hook for up to $150,000 or maybe even more. So you've been sued. Your defense is fair use. And if you look at the last page here, these are some of the issues that we look at to determine whether or not something is fair use. It's never a bright and easy, clear distinction that's made in law. But the four things that the judge looks for: what is the purpose of the use of this work? Is it an educational purpose? Is it profit or non-profit? Is it some sort of review or criticism or comment? What is the context that you're, quote unquote, infringing? What are you doing that gives you an excuse to put another bit of weight and evidence on the side of the scale that says, yes, we're allowing the free transmission of ideas? The second is, what's the nature of the original work? Was it published or unpublished? Is it fiction or nonfiction? Unpublished fictional works have a higher degree of protection. Nonfiction works have a lower degree. For example, you cannot get a copyright on a fact. 1492, Columbus discovered the New World. Okay, that's a fact. I could write a book about it, somebody could write a play about it, somebody else could paint that picture. Neither one of us is infringing any of the others because it's a fact. We're expressing in an original way that fact in our fixed form, but the fact itself is not copyrightable. The third factor that courts look for is how much was taken. Are you taking a little bit or a whole lot? And what are you taking? Giving a lecture one time to a group of educators, music educators, one of the guys was saying, well, you know, I'd like to assign my students sections from an opera. And what can I do? Can I put it on reserve? Do I make copies? And this is like a 4-hour seminar that we give. But the short answer is, what do you do in the classroom? You can't play the entire opera in the classroom. You can play highlights and fast forward. You can say, okay, I want you to listen to this aria and then compare it to the other aria. But we're not going to watch the whole performance in one classroom. And besides, there's some sort of control over the classroom. It's not open to the public. It's a face-to-face teaching situation. And that's another important thing to think about for fair use. The last factor that gets analyzed is a question of what is the effect on the value of the original work? Are you just a substitute for the original, or are you not affecting? Gee, if I write this song, is everyone going to buy my song and nobody's going to buy the first one? Or if I copy an entire book, and at the beginning of it I say, and this is for review and comment and criticism, and then verbatim put the entire book, in it and sell it for a dime, well, people aren't going to buy the original. It affects the value. Obviously, that's an absurd example, but you see, there is no bright line. A lot of students ask me all the time, well, you know, what about infringement, and can't you do 4 bars? And I was like, no, it's never a bright line. And the example I give is, okay, name this tune. Da-dun. What is it? 2 notes. So you can't say, well, you know, you can't take 3 notes, you can't take 2 notes, you can't. No, it's the essence. What are you taking? Now, in that situation, you'd go, the amount taken is so little. It's only 2 notes, and the whole composition, it goes for bars and bars and bars and bars. Well, all the sharks eat everybody. But that's the essence, that's the hook, that's the important part when someone who's, you know, singing very flat can even say, and people go, oh yeah, Jaws, the sharks are coming. You've taken the essence of that. So, in short, the Teach Act tries to help educators in what they can and can't do with copyright in the classroom. And more importantly now, there's even more rules that are applicable for putting courses online. There's on and on and on. Section 110 of the copyright law is the Teach Act. Section 108 is another section talking about libraries and archives. And it's a very complex subject. That's why I gave you my email at the bottom. We have a website called buzzgig.com. I have a blog on it on copyright issues and frequently asked questions.